We have had a mystery on our hands this week. The scholars in this room are the crew of the mighty ship, the Envisioneer. While in search of the ancient treasure, we were marooned on an island, and a key part of our navigational map went missing. Of the entire crew, we considered 4 suspects. Today, you will hear the evidence collected against Dr. Smart and Shipwright Neff.
This week we learned how to diagnose and treat various injuries and illness.
Dr. Smart examined a few crew members who appeared to have fractured or sprained limbs.
We discovered many different fracture types one can encounter in the wilderness. Simple fracture, closed fracture, comminuted fracture, open fracture.
We were able to assist with treating the injured crew by using splints and slings to immobilize the injury. Now let's take a closer look on how we saved lives.
Ow, my arm.
Lives and limbs by using a splint.
Ow, my arm. I think it's broken.
There you go.
I feel much better.
Thank you.
Dr. Smart detected a patient who looked lethargic. She was experiencing shortness of breath and wheezing.
We concluded one of her lungs had collapsed. We immediately came up with the best treatment option: stabilize her lungs. The respiratory system is a series of organs responsible for taking in oxygen and expelling carbon dioxide.
The respiratory system is composed of the nostrils, mucus, cilia, trachea, alveoli, bronchi, lungs, and the diaphragm. We created a lung model to exhibit our understanding of the respiratory system.
The balloon represents the lung. The cup represents the chest cavity. The huge balloon represents the muscle that stretches over the bottom of the chest cavity.
This week, we learned about engineering and the skills needed to build and program a robot. An engineer is a person that makes things work. This week, we designed and built complex machines. We created MBOTs. We used our MBOTs to locate lost crewmates from the shipwreck. We used an app called MakeBot to help us with our deserted island challenges.
Now we will show you how we used our MBOTs to find the lost crewmates.
This week we dissected a calf's heart. We examined the heart and labeled each part.
The cardiovascular system helps circulate blood throughout the body.
The blood that travels brings oxygen and nutrients to our cells and help keep our bodies healthy.
The different parts of the calf's heart we dissected are the tora, the vena cava, the pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, left artery, right atrium, left atrium, left ventricle, and lastly, the right ventricle.
In conclusion, we discovered a fun fact. A calf's heart is a little bit bigger than a human's heart.
During the investigation, a patient was bitten by a snake. In order to treat the patient, we had to figure out what kind of snake bit her.
There are 2 types of venomous snakes: hemotoxic and neurotoxic. Neurotoxic can affect the nerves, hemotoxic can affect the blood system.
The effects neurotoxins have on the body are: you might not feel pain, possible death, slurred speech, double vision, and very weak muscles.
Effects of hemotoxins have on the body are swelling, bleeding at the bite site, and bruising.
In conclusion, we discovered a fun fact. You can tell if a snake is venomous by the shape of its eyes.
We are the non-trade-in group, and we are going to be discussing our blood spatter evidence. The diameter of the blood spatter changes by the height at which the blood falls.
Although the difference between the blood spatters are small, they made a huge difference in our case. That's why forensic scientists look at blood spatters for evidence.
We take the averages of everyone's blood spatter by adding all the 3 trials we did and dividing the total by 4. We did these steps for 12, 30, and 66 inches.
In conclusion, we discovered the higher the blood drops, the bigger the spatter.
We were given the task of analyzing a fingerprint left on the cup at a crime scene. We needed to extract this fingerprint to figure out whose it was. We extracted it by taking a brush and getting cocoa powder on it, and then lightly dabbing it on the fingerprint, getting a piece of tape, putting it over the fingerprint, removing it, and then afterwards, whenever we got the print, we found that it was the fingerprint of Dr. Smart.
This week, we had to determine what mystery powder Dr. Smart used to treat injured crewmates. We determined it was cornstarch.
Ouch, I have a cut on my arm and it hurts.
Use cornstarch, it will help you heal faster.
It feels much better now.
In conclusion, we discovered a fun fact. You can use cornstarch to heal a burn or a scratch faster. Based on all the evidence our STEM group submitted, we believe that Dr. Smart and Shipwright Neff are guilty of stealing the ancient map.